I was raised by a single father, and I witnessed him go through a lot of bad relationships. And, as a little kid, there's not a lot that you can do, but as a grown woman, I can't help but flash back to those things and say, you know what, there's got to be a better way. For men, us ladies, we have a lot of resources to turn to. We have our girlfriends, we have our own dating coaches, we have lots of books to read, but I feel that men are kind of woefully underserved in the area of dating when it comes to having meaningful relationships. So yes, there's a ton of pickup artists out there. If you were at all present in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, you may have heard of the book The Game, which will give you all sorts of creepy techniques to get a woman into bed. And hey, if that's your goal, I have no judgment. But with that said, that's not going to produce meaningful relationships for you guys, even if it's temporary meaningful relationship. So what I'm here to do is not only help you have more meaningful relationships, go on better dates, have more satisfying experiences, but also to help you guys start shifting your attitude and mindset. That's actually the next course I'm going to be working on, is the attitude piece of all of this, because I can teach you all the techniques in the world, but unless you're able to shift kind of what's going on up here, it doesn't really matter what's going on in the external world, because what we think about is what we see, it's what we get. So without fixing this up here, you can learn all the techniques in the world, but it's not going to shift your experience until you internalize those things. Then all of a sudden life really is created by you as opposed to happening to you. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into today's course, which is all about how to accurately read body language. So in my course, this masterclass and also the original course, I am teaching you guys all about the certain things that you need to pay attention to: signals, movements, attitudes, energies, things like that, to help facilitate attraction. But the thing is that everything that I'm teaching you has a certain meaning to it, but you don't know what that meaning is until you're able to establish a baseline with someone, right? Because everybody's different. And yes, our body language is controlled by our limbic system, which is our unconscious thought, which means people are going to do and move in certain ways that they aren't even thinking about. But the thing is that those things don't always mean the same thing across everybody, right? So I actually had a client the other day say to me, oh, I can tell that this woman's upset with me because she crosses her arms. Well, yes, of course, it's a universal signal that somebody crosses their arms when they're upset. Closed body language, they don't want to talk, they're not receptive to the idea. But the truth is that for us women, it's actually more comfortable for us to hold our arms here. So we could be, having an attitude, which, the rest of our body will say, or, we're standing there and or we're sitting there and we don't really know what to do with our arms, or we're cold. And so we'll cross our arms simply because it's more comfortable for us. So unless you know someone well enough to understand if this is just something comfortable or angry, you cannot make that determination. You cannot judge that person's language or try and speak language, body language with them until you know the difference between the two. And you don't know that until you've established someone's base decision. So that's actually one of the biggest reasons why I recommend doing first date, phone date. So if you were watching yesterday, that was one of the questions I got actually, and the answer is that if you want to know how to get to know someone before you've even had a chance to meet them in real life, get on the phone with them. Because in a 5, 10, 15-minute conversation, you'll know a lot about a person in terms of even their baseline, right? Because we would like to think, right, if someone's getting on the phone with us for the first time or meeting us for the first time, that they're going to be on their best behavior. And if they aren't, they should be, right? But we don't know that until we get to know them. But the thing is that let's just assume that they're on their best behavior and they complain a lot. They're crabby. Their body language is closed. They're a little bit aggressive. Even on the phone, you say, hey, it's John. And then she says, oh, hey, it's Amber. What's up? Excuse me, this is the first time you're connecting with this person. There's no energy there. There's no passion. There's no interest. Versus like, hey, it's Amber. So nice to finally connect with you. So excited we get a chance to talk on the phone. Tell me more about you, right? So if somebody gets on the phone and they're super low energy and they seem like they could care less and they're supposed to be on their best behavior, if that's their best behavior, imagine what comfortable is versus like bad, right?